Greetings to all of you locked up food handmaidens. In this video I'm going to make the classic New Zealand dish, spaghetti bolognese. This was filmed a while back and I was going to spend a bit of time going on about how upset Italians can get about us appropriating their place names and language for a dish that doesn't really exist there, and how we've adopted it and made it our own, and that we're just one big happy planet sharing ideas, language and food since forever. But since we started sharing this virus so efficiently, that stuff seems a bit less relevant for the time being. So instead I'll just get down to the basics of preparing good food. Start by dicing the onion and carrot. I like them quite small, but it doesn't really matter. Here's my method for chopping onion. Pretty straightforward, slice and dice. I don't see the point in the horizontal cut that some classic cooks teach. It seems a bit dangerous. It makes the dicing more difficult, especially if you take the root end off the onion like I do. Carrots I slice in the diagonal, then lie flat and cut into sticks, then dice. That's the easiest way I've found. It won't give you perfect little cubes, but I'm not cooking in a 5-star restaurant. Some of my dinner guests are just as likely to complain about the inclusion of carrot, regardless of the shape. Next, crush some garlic. I give the cloves a little squeeze first to loosen the skin so they peel easier, then crush them. I know lots of people don't use garlic crushers, but I like them. Start by browning the mince with a bit of oil. Do this on a medium to high heat. Stir it lots to keep it from sticking and to break it up to get rid of the lumps. Keep cooking it until all the water has boiled off and the mince is frying and goes a nice brown colour. Browning the mince will give the finished dish a much richer flavour and also contribute a nice colour as well. A medium to high heat works well here because we want the outside to go nice and brown quickly. We'll cook the meat slowly later on to tenderise it. Once it's browned, take it out of the pot and set it aside while you cook the onion and carrot. Turn the heat to the lowest setting so they sweat and cook slowly. Adding a pinch of salt at this stage helps draw out the liquid from the vegetables, which makes them cook more evenly and they'll turn out way better. Without the salt, I find that they can get a bit burnt around the edges and still be undercooked in the middle. The vegetables cook differently from the meat. They won't brown in the same way and burn much easier. Slow, gentle cooking will suit them much better. This lets them caramelise slowly, increasing the sweetness and developing their flavour while avoiding the harsh, bitter flavours developed when they start to burn. I always add the garlic after the onion and carrots are cooked because it burns much easier. The official version of bolognese sauce adds some diced pancetta here, which will melt and release some oil for the onions and carrots to cook in as well. Obviously this would be delicious, but I'm really that extravagant with this recipe. Diced chorizo could be good too. When they're nice and soft and slightly golden brown, add the garlic and mince back into the pot, then canned crushed tomatoes. Rinse the can with a bit of water and put that in too. Then tomato paste, a splash of vinegar, in this case balsamic, and a bit of sugar. I like the slightly sweet and sour combo of vinegar and sugar here, but if that's not your thing, then leave them out by all means. I'm firmly of the belief spaghetti bolognese is open to interpretation and adaptation. Since you now have all day to prepare your meal, I encourage you to do as Marcella Hazan and all the other notable Italian cooks say, and cook this dish slowly for a long time, like hours. Preferably for about 3 hours or so. It really does make a huge difference. If it starts to dry out, add a bit more water and give it the occasional stir to make sure it's not sticking. You could also add some herbs like rosemary, thyme, sage, oregano or marjoram. That'd all be good. Definitely add some pepper. I'm sure I did, but didn't video it for some reason. Every version of bolognese sauce is different, and whichever way you like it is good. But whatever you put in there is going to benefit from being cooked slowly. Usually I reckon I'd make it a bit more saucy than this by adding more tomatoes or some stock, but I didn't this time. And just as the name bolognese, when referring to meat sauce, is open to interpretation, so too is the word spaghetti when used as a prefix for bolognese. Tagliatelle is the traditional shape that apparently has the best surface adhesion for this sauce, but really any pasta shape will do. This time we've gone for these spring shapes with a liberal sprinkling of parmesan, and instead of our traditional accompaniment of peas, we have coleslaw and cucumber with vinegar. If you're interested in my philosophical thoughts on spag bowl, I've included what I was going to talk about in the description. Enjoy and keep well. Thanks.